I don't remember the exact moment the slope gave way. I remember the sound, though, like the mountains exhaled all at once. Deep, ancient, and final. 1 second we were descending a narrow ridgeline. Boots scraping dust and shale, pack swaying, and the next the trail collapsed beneath us. Everything went weightless. Sky, trees, screams, then the world came crashing back in. I woke up in dirt, blood in my mouth. The air was thick with pulverized stone and the reek of uprooted roots, and somewhere below us, beneath the broken ridge and tons of shattered forest, I heard it. Rushing water, not far, constant, and too loud to be safe. Tom was screaming. Someone was calling my name. The radios were dead. The road was gone, and none of us were ready for what came next. This isn't a ghost story. It's not a mystery. It's just what happens when you put 6 people on a broken mountain with no way out, no food, and no one coming. We were just hikers. Now we were something else. It started as a soft vibration, not an earthquake, just a tremble. I felt it through my boots before I even heard anything, like the ground underneath had sighed. I had 1 foot forward, about to shift my weight down onto a slanted patch of gravel, when the ridge buckled. No warning, no shout, no chance. The slope sheared off beneath me and I went down hard, rolled, slid, hit a rock with my shoulder, bounced, and kept sliding. The noise was deafening. Not just rocks, but trees, snapping, tumbling. I heard someone yelling, but the wind and debris swallowed the words. When I finally stopped, I was half buried in loose shale. My mouth was filled with dirt. My head was ringing so hard I didn't even realize I'd been screaming until I stopped. I forced myself to sit up. The ridge we'd been walking on? Gone. Just gone. A deep, uneven scar tore through the slope behind me, still dribbling soil like a wound that wouldn't clot. I could see 3 people moving nearby. Sarah was limping. Kyle was waving, calling out names. Then I saw Tom. He was trying to sit up. His leg bent wrong, too wrong. I scrambled over. Tom, don't move, don't. He was already pale, his forehead glossy with sweat. Can't feel my toes, he mumbled, teeth clenching. His left leg looked like it had folded in 2 places. I couldn't even tell where the bone was supposed to be. Behind me, more voices. Jamie, Ella. They were alive, shaken, cut up, but alive. All 7 of us made it through the fall. That much, at least, felt like a miracle. But the road was gone. The radios were silent, and we had nothing but what was in our packs, day hike packs. No tents, no sleeping gear, no real food. Somewhere under the debris, I heard the river again, rushing, close, and way too loud. Don't move him, Kyle said, crouching beside me. His hands were already working, checking Tom's pulse, his pupils. Kyle used to be a paramedic. That had been a comfort when we were setting out from the trailhead. Now it was the only thing standing between Tom and full-blown shock. Ella sat down hard nearby. Her palms were torn up. Jamie was trying the radio, just static. Sarah just stood there, arms crossed, staring at the ridge like she could will it back into existence. This was supposed to be a day hike, she muttered. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. I knew then we weren't going home today, and maybe not at all. By the time we took stock of everything, the light was already fading. We had 6 people, 1 injured, 1 ex-paramedic, 2 basic first aid kits, nothing strong enough for a break like Tom's, and a half-dozen bottles of water spread across our packs. No tents, no tarps, not even a decent map. We'd relied on GPS apps, trail markers, and word of mouth. This was supposed to be a loop trail. Nothing extreme. In and out by sundown. Now the entire lower slope was a mess of rock and splintered pine. Where the trail once led down to the parking area, there was a 30-foot drop into churned-up mud and stone. A section of road lay at the bottom, ripped apart like paper. No phone signal. No satellite ping, no emergency beacon, because no one thought we'd need it. Still nothing, Jamie said. He held the radio like it was fragile. Kyle took it from him. Clicked through every channel. Nothing but white hiss and occasional pops. We'll give it a rest. Check again in a few hours. His voice was steady, but his hands were trembling. I noticed. I think we all did. We should ration, Sarah said, almost immediately. I have 1 bar and a half a bag of trail mix. That's it. Ella looked through her pack, pulled out 2 protein bars and a bottle of water. I've got some jerky, I said, enough for a couple people. That's it. Kyle pointed to a flat patch of earth above the landslide. We set camp there, get off the unstable edge, get Tom stable. Then we figure out next steps. Camp? Sarah snapped. With what? Ground and each other, Kyle replied. We don't have a choice. We built a kind of shelter using 2 raincoats and fallen branches. Tom was going in and out of it, muttering nonsense one minute, asking for his wife the next. Kyle had splinted his leg with trekking poles and duct tape, but he told me quietly later, out of earshot, "It's a bad break. Swelling's already crazy. If we don't get him help soon." He didn't finish the sentence. That night, the temperature dropped hard. By midnight, we were curled up in a pile, 6 bodies around Tom, trying to share warmth, every joint stiff and wet with cold. No one slept well. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard that water again, still flowing, somewhere beneath us, like the land was hollow now. At sunrise, Kyle made the call. "We can't stay here. Rescue's not coming. Not today, maybe not tomorrow either. That radio's garbage without a signal tower. We need to move. Get higher. Get line of sight. Maybe we'll catch a signal, find a way around." "And what about Tom?" I asked. Kyle didn't answer at first, just looked over at him. The swelling in Tom's leg had spread above the knee. His skin looked tight and discolored. He hadn't said a word in hours, just groaned, flinching every time someone brushed against him. "We take turns carrying him," Kyle said, "or we make a stretcher." Silence. "You've got to be kidding," Sarah said. "No, I'm not. We'll die trying to carry him. We'll die staying here." The argument started then, loud, heated, and pointless. Everyone yelling, everyone scared. Ella finally snapped, throwing her pack down and walking a few paces away, biting back tears. Kyle put his hand up. "Fine. Plan B, we split up. 2 go to scout. Look for a safer route out. Everyone else stays with Tom. Build shelter. Conserve food. We regroup in a day." "Who goes?" Jamie asked. "I do," Kyle said, "and one other." My hand went up before I even thought it through. "I'll go." The look Ella gave me wasn't anger. It was fear, but I couldn't sit still. Not anymore. Kyle and I set off around noon. We took only what we needed: 3 bottles of water, 1 protein bar, the working filtration straw, and the radio. The slope was brutal. Every footfall sent loose rocks slithering underfoot. Brambles clung to our pants and tore at our hands. We had to descend sideways, 1 step at a time, leaning into the incline, sweating through our shirts even in the cold. I stopped to look back once. The others were tiny figures on the ridge above, standing still like statues, watching us vanish into the broken forest. Kyle never stopped moving. He had this manic kind of focus. Eyes scanning constantly, breathing like he was holding it in. 2 hours in, we found an old deer trail, overgrown but clearer than anything we'd seen so far. It wound along the edge of a dry ravine. "Think it leads anywhere?" I asked. "Don't know," Kyle muttered, "but at least it's going somewhere." By late afternoon, we hadn't found anything. No road, no cabins, no towers, just more shattered hills, freshly broken by the slide, fallen trees, deep, muddy gullies. The forest was cracked and bleeding. We stopped to rest, split the protein bar, half each. Neither of us spoke while we ate. Then the rain started. Before we dive back in, let me know where you're watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments. I'd love to see how far this story reaches. If the tension's got you on the edge of your seat, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dive survival horror tales, and don't miss a single heart-pounding moment. The rain didn't come down hard at first. It was a soft mist, more like sweat than weather, but it didn't stop. By the time we reached what looked like a dried-up stream bed, it had thickened into steady droplets, cold and constant. Kyle's jacket soaked through. Mine wasn't much better. The air turned clammy, and every rock we stepped on slicked beneath our boots like ice. We followed the stream bed down into a shallow ravine, hoping it might lead us somewhere, a trail, a fire road, even a clearing. But it just kept winding and dropping, and the farther down we went, the louder that damn rushing water got. "I think it's under us," I said, stopping. "That same underground stream. We're following it." Kyle nodded slowly, lips tight. "Which means if it floods, we're screwed." We moved faster. By dusk, we'd hit a dead end. The ravine funneled into a narrow gash in the earth, no wider than a man's shoulders, completely choked with rockfall. No way through, no way around without climbing sheer walls of moss-slick stone. We were drenched, tired, hungry. The filtered water tasted like soil. My hands were blistered from pulling myself up tree roots and bracing against sharp rock. "We head back tomorrow," Kyle said. He didn't look at me when he said it. "We're burning too many calories. Not worth the risk. Not in this weather." I nodded, though part of me hated it. Hated the idea of going back with nothing to show for it. No signal, no exit. Just bad news. We found a shallow overhang, just enough space to sit, huddled shoulder to shoulder, trying not to shake. That night, I dreamed of running water, not rushing like before, just slow, soft trickles in the dirt, weaving between fingers, seeping under skin. We left at dawn. Neither of us spoke. We just moved. The rain had softened the trail, turning everything to sludge. My boots filled with freezing water on the first climb. Every ledge we descended the day before was a death trap now on the way up. Halfway back, I slipped, landed hard on my elbow, slid 6 feet down the incline before catching a sapling root. Kyle helped pull me back up, gritting his teeth. "You good?" I nodded. I wasn't, but I nodded. By the time we reached the ridge again, the others were huddled in silence under a makeshift lean-to made of branches and torn raincoats. Tom looked worse, pale, clammy. His eyes were bloodshot, and his lips had cracked. He was conscious, but not all there. Ella ran up when she saw us. Her face said everything. "Please tell me you found something. Anything." I shook my head. Jamie sat beside Tom, holding his hand. Sarah didn't look at us. She was crouched by a tree, carving something into the bark with her pocket knife. Kyle dropped his pack. "We're not going to survive sitting here," he said. "We keep scouting, in pairs, take shifts, short runs, but no more full-day treks until we figure out our food." No one answered. Then Sarah stood up, turned around, and said flatly, "Jamie ate 2 bars last night, his own stash. Didn't tell anyone." Jamie jerked around. "I didn't... What? No, that's not." She threw the wrappers on the ground. Everyone froze. Ella's voice cracked. "Why would you do that?" "I panicked, okay?" Jamie shouted, "We were going to go another day without food." He looked at me, at Kyle. I was hungry. Sarah stepped toward him. "We all are. You don't get to cheat death by cheating us." Kyle raised a hand. "Stop, right now. Everyone stop." But the silence that followed was louder than the fight. That night, we ate nothing. Even the water tasted bitter. The ground broke at 2 a.m. I was awake, couldn't sleep. Cold had gotten into my bones and wouldn't leave. At first, I thought it was thunder. Then I felt it in my ribs, a low shifting vibration, like the hill was sighing again. Then it dropped. The floor of our makeshift camp cracked with a wet sound, and suddenly we were scrambling, grabbing Tom, grabbing packs, pulling each other back from the new edge. Water erupted from the broken gully like it had been waiting there. Dark, fast, icy cold. It surged down into the hollow where we'd slept the night before, swallowing the fire pit, the lean-to, everything. We scrambled higher, soaked and shivering. Tom screamed when Kyle tried to move him. The splint was soaked. His leg was red and hot, swelling in all the wrong directions. We barely got him out of the path in time. Sarah watched the water rush past us, mouth hanging open. "I told you," she said, dazed. "We're not supposed to be here. This place doesn't want us." "It's not a place," Kyle said. "It's just dirt." And we pissed it off. The next morning, Ella tried to stand and fell flat on her side. Her legs were shaking like she'd just run a marathon, and she hadn't moved in hours. She didn't even curse, just lay there, arms tucked under her, face in the mud. Sarah sat with her back against a tree, eyes half closed. Her lips moved, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. Maybe prayers, maybe just counting. Jamie looked the worst. He'd stopped speaking entirely. He stared at the horizon like it owed him something. Something it wasn't going to give. We counted what we had left. 1 protein bar, 1 bottle of clean water, a few crumbles of jerky stuck at the bottom of Kyle's pack. I took the bar out, broke it. Tiny, crooked squares, not even enough to taste, just enough to pretend we tried. Tom was alive, but only barely. His leg was black and purple, and he flinched even when the wind hit it. Kyle tried to drain the swelling with a sterilized blade and a heated needle tip. Tom passed out from the pain, didn't wake up for hours. No one said it, but we all thought it. If he died, there'd be more for the rest of us. Sarah said it aloud first. "If he doesn't make it, don't," Ella snapped. "I'm not saying we do anything. I'm just saying we make it back. He won't." "No," Kyle growled. "That's not how this works." She turned on him, her face hollow, her voice flat. "Then how does it work, Kyle? Because I'm done pretending we're all making it out." Kyle didn't respond. He just walked away. That night, the temperature dropped again, harder than before. We had no fire, no wood left dry enough to burn. We piled branches around ourselves like insulation and hoped it'd be enough. I didn't sleep. I just listened to the soft rattling of Sarah's breath, to Jamie muttering something in his sleep, to the wind chewing on the broken trees like a hungry thing. And far off below, under Everything. The river kept moving. Jamie didn't move the next morning. I thought he was sleeping, but when I nudged him, he slumped sideways. Eyes open, mouth slack, still. I knelt there, frozen. Kyle checked his pulse, didn't say anything, just looked away and wiped his face. We buried him shallow. No time, no strength. Sarah didn't help. She just sat there, hugging her knees like she was trying to disappear into herself. Ella cried quietly. She didn't have tears left, but she made the sound. I caught her staring at the protein wrapper Jamie had stuffed in his coat pocket. "I don't think he meant to die," she whispered. "I think he just wanted a full stomach before he did." I didn't know what to say. That night, we didn't speak, didn't move, didn't plan. We were all thinking the same thing. How long until one of us was next? It was Ella. She went looking for berries at dawn, said she saw something red near the edge of a slope. We tried to stop her. She just smiled. "Better than sitting here," she said. "Either it's food or I die trying." We heard her scream not long after. I reached her first. She was 20 feet down, face twisted, neck at an impossible angle, body crumpled against a stone. I don't know if she slipped or jumped. I don't think it matters. We didn't move her. Couldn't. The slope was too slick, and we were too weak. Back at camp, Kyle sat down next to me. He didn't speak for a long time. Then, finally, he said, "You and me, we leave tomorrow. We take what we have. We find a way. If we die trying, at least we try. And Tom," his jaw tightened, "we leave him with what we can. Shelter, water. If someone comes back, they'll find him." He looked at me. "I don't want to do this anymore." I didn't either, but I nodded anyway. We left at dawn. We gave Tom the last of the filtered water. Kyle slipped the bottle into his jacket and tucked a tarp over his chest. He didn't respond, didn't blink. He was still breathing, but shallow, barely there. We left him anyway. I'll carry that decision the rest of my life. Kyle and I packed light. What was left fit into a single bag, one water bottle, the backup filtration straw, and a few damp strips of jerky Kyle had dried under his shirt overnight. We didn't talk much. Our legs were shot. My knees shook under me on every incline. Kyle looked even worse. His breathing was ragged and his hands wouldn't stop twitching. But we kept moving. Up. Always up. The ground was looser now, washed out by the rains and scattered with shattered branches. Every step was a fight against gravity. Every misstep sent small avalanches of stones cascading below us. By midday, Kyle stopped walking. He leaned on a tree trunk, then slowly slid down to sit in the mud. "Keep going," he said, voice like sandpaper. "You can do it." "We go together," I said. He didn't argue. He just didn't move. I crouched next to him, trying to ration my breath. "You said if we die trying, at least we tried." He laughed once, just once. Then he looked at me, his eyes glassy and half empty, and said, "Don't stop. Not for me. Not now." I waited. I waited until the sun started sinking behind the ridge again. Then I stood up, left the bag next to him, and kept moving. I don't remember how I got there. Not really. There are flashes. The edge of a tree stump shaped like a wolf's snarl. A slope I crawled up with my face in the dirt, a breath so long and painful I thought it'd be my last. And then I saw it. The road. Flattened, cracked, half buried under rock and debris, but there. My legs gave out. I fell to my knees and just stared. It felt fake. I thought maybe I was dead, and this was what dying looked like, a cracked two-lane blacktop in the middle of the woods with no cars and no sound. But it was real. I crawled across it, dragging myself like a broken animal. A sign came next. Green, bent metal, Ranger Outpost, 2 kilometers. I don't remember the walk, just the door. It was open, no one inside, but there was power. A red light on the radio, a humming fridge. Maps pinned to a board, and silence. I hit the switch, held the button down. This is, my voice cracked. "This is a hiker. I'm lost. We had a collapse. I said it all. Names, coordinates, numbers I didn't even know I remembered. Then I sat in the corner and waited. They came. 3 hours later, 2 trucks, a rescue team. They found me curled up next to the radio, barely conscious. They gave me water, food, put me in a warm blanket and asked questions I couldn't answer fast enough. Then they went back. They found Tom, alive, barely, but alive. Kyle never made it down. Sarah was gone, vanished sometime during the second storm. We never found her body. Ella, Jamie, gone. 6 of us entered that ridge. Only 2 of us made it out. It's been months. They say it wasn't our fault, that the slope was unstable, that nobody could have predicted the collapse. I don't believe that. I think we got lazy, arrogant, thought a trail was just a trail, that nature followed rules. But it doesn't. The mountain doesn't care how careful you are. It moves when it wants, and it takes what it wants. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I still hear the water, still flowing underneath everything. Soft, relentless, waiting, not supernatural, not cursed, just there, always there. Like the memory of who we used to be before the ground gave way, before we had to learn the hard way what it takes to come back. That was the story. If you made it this far, thank you. Truly. Your time, your attention, your support, it means everything. If you felt something while listening, tension, fear, hope, hit that like button. It helps more than you know. And if you want more immersive survival horror stories like this one, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. I've got more stories that'll leave your heart racing. Until then, stay safe out there.